Alright guys, I'm going to show you real quick how to do a tree layer. It's a little bit manual still right now, but I just pushed our first version of the script that'll let you do auto planting of trees. So if you've got an SVG like this and you've got a separate layer here for your trees and you've gone through and outlined them and you probably used this trees layer color, which I added a while back in preparation of this, but I haven't yet automated all that yet into Meshery. So if you want to try this, you want to do this manually, you need to do these quick steps in Inkscape. And that's to hide your overlay, hide all your other layers other than your trees, and then make your trees white, because we're going to use them as an image mask and plant trees anywhere where there's white color, and we're going to avoid planting trees anywhere where there's a dark color. So from here we would go to export, change the background color to black, and you want to see an image down here, the preview, with a black background and white trees. Save that to some file here on your computer. Let's save it right there to courses, and boom, now we've got our black background white tree layer. You can come back in here and turn them back to trees if you want. But okay, so once you get your new tree layer image into Unity, that black and white image we just created, there's one thing you're going to need to do, and it's set read write on the image in the inspector here, and then make sure you click apply. That's going to allow us to read the pixel data to know where to plant the trees. Okay, so if you're in your Unity project now and you want to import your tree layer, same way you would add the course details, just right click in your hierarchy, go to OpenGolf Sim, go to Create Tree Planner. This will add a new object and a new script called OGS Tree Planner. And you're just going to want to set a few of these variables before you can plant anything. One is your tree mask, so you're going to want to go find the texture you imported that we exported just now from Inkscape. And if I go down here and I see here's one of my tree layers, Inner Trees 2, let's use that. It's got that black background with the white areas where I want trees planted. You can also take your base terrain, drag that over there, and that'll tell the script where to plant the trees, how high. Then we're going to add our first tree. So just click plus here for this and find a tree. So I've got one. It's a nice lush oak tree. We'll drag that over to the prefab. You can adjust things like the scale, the frequency of this tree, so you can kind of play around with different densities of different trees. You can add as many as you want here, and it'll just randomize them. The rest of these settings you can tweak as needed for performance and additional like overall density. But let's see if this works now. If we hit generate trees, we should see trees planted where we've got white areas. So if you don't see trees in the distance, you might have this max render distance set a little too low. If we change this to something like 800, we'll see them all the way to the back of our terrain. And it looks a little weird with just one tree and the density so high. So again, just play around with these different values. 0.5 for max density will reduce the trees a little bit. But that's how easy it is to plant trees. Do a second one over here. Let's do this pine tree. And then we'll regenerate. And so now we've got pine trees. But this one's a bit smaller than my other tree. So what we can do is we come in here and look at it and say, wow, yeah, that pine tree is much smaller. So let's pump up the scale range to 1.3 and maybe just 2 here. You can see I can grow that pine tree a little bit bigger. So it's already starting to look much better. A lot of these trees will have color variation and LOD settings. So that's the other thing to check out is if you click on your tree model, if you're making them with Speed Tree or something like that, they usually export with these color variation options. And then you can come down here and set your level of detail groups. And we do highly recommend trees with billboards if you want them off in the distance. It really helps with performance to have some visual tree back there, but it's so far away it doesn't need to be detailed. So make sure you enable billboards on your trees, and you can drag these groups to make sure you're rendering in lower detail the further away you get. So if you get some lagginess in your game, come check your tree settings. Maybe reduce the density, maybe reduce the LOD. But that color variation will let you kind of give yourself fall colors. You could do more of a green, and usually when you apply this, yeah, you see that update. So yeah, that's trees. Come check us out on the Discord, ask questions if you run into issues, but hopefully things work great for you.